a bunch of crazy stories written by the Brothers Grimm. And now you're gonna learn all about them, listening to the Brothers Grimm.
Students and scholars, friends and relations, welcome to the Brothers Dim podcast, a podcast in which we have a frank and honest discussion about the many folktales collected and published by the Brothers Grimm in the early 1800s in Germany, including this week's tale, Story 87, The Poor Man and the Rich Man. My name is Phil.
And my name is Mike.
Mike, how are you now?
I'm doing pretty all right. How about yourself?
I'm good. I had a question, though.
Sure.
Would you consider yourself rich or poor?
If I had to pick one, I'd probably say societally I am probably considered rich.
Okay. I would consider myself rich too, certainly in life, if not money. I would call myself firmly middle class. Things are okay with me these days. I got a good job, got a good office, got a good wife, got a good life, and the family is fine.
I'd keep going, but I don't remember the next line.
We lost touch long ago. You lost weight. I did not know you could ever look so good after so much time.
It's a damn good song.
Yeah, it's a very good song. Anyways,
Do you remember hanging out by the Village Green?
I do. I remember hanging out at the Haven with you.
That's true.
It wasn't engineer boots and tight blue jeans though. It was a lot of gothic.
It was tight things, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was vinyl.
Tight vinyl pants. Dancing in a cage.
God, I love it. Oh, well, I miss
Those
it.
are the days. I have a question for you.
Oh, ask away.
Growing up, you had a donkey named Asa.
Yes,
right?
that's true.
And it may just be because it's the only named donkey I've ever met, but I always thought it was a great name for a donkey. However, did you ever have a horse named Lisa?
No.
Because I find it's a weird name for a horse.
Okay.
But I'll get into that later.
Sure, yeah. My horse was, not my horse exactly, but the horse that I loved the most was Jody. And she kind of retired at one point, so it was just, we didn't even ride her. I would just go out and walk with her. This is when I lived up at the farmhouse. Yeah. And then we had Prince, Sarah, and Rodeo were the two mini horses. And there was another horse.
Good name for a little horse.
Yeah. But yes, I would say I was rich in donkeys and and goats and things like that. Sheep.
That's what's really important.
It's true. Do you have a grade for this tale?
I went with a B+ on this one.
Okay.
How about you?
Yeah, I thought I just gave it a B. I thought, though I could be talked higher, I liked the monkey's paw wish thing, which we'll get into. And I think might have been one of the first real times we've seen that, at least with the second wish, although it wasn't worded in a way that my sentence structure means this wish is coming back to bite me.
Right, yeah.
It's just a kind of a bad wish.
The bad wishes were a little contrived.
Or the first one's definitely just a bad wish, and then the second one, that's where you get the kind of the word play, I suppose. But
yeah.
In any case, without further ado, if you don't mind, I will take us through the plot of the first story of Volume 2 of Grimm's Fairy Tales, Grimm Story 87, The Poor Man and the Rich Man. Once upon a time, God was out a-wandering amongst the leaves so green. This is in olden times when he did that more often, by the way. But he's out wandering, and it starts getting dark, and there was no inn to be seen. So he sees two houses, one very nice and one crap shack. So God says he's going to go bug the rich guy and ask for a place to sleep for the night because the rich guy, there's no skin off his back. So the rich guy takes one look at the Lord and takes a pass because he wasn't dressed fancy like the Lord could be. He made up a bunch of excuses. He sends him on his way. Lord walks across the street to the poor man's house and asks for a place to stay. And the poor people are all sunshine and lollipops. They invite him in. They feed him. They give him the good bed. They bring him breakfast in bed. They wash his feet, all these sorts of things. So he wakes up the next morning. He's feeling great. He's not hungry. And as he's leaving, he says, you know what? You guys are awesome. Please take 3 wishes. And the poor folks said, well, we only really wish for healthiness and to have food. And God says, okay, well, how about the third wish? And they said, well, we can't, we're pretty folksy, so I guess we can't really think of a third wish. We don't want nothing more than that. And God says, okay, well, how about I set you up with a really nice house anyway? They say, fine. Poof, new mansion, health, and unlimited food, presumably. And God goes on his way. Rich man's wife wakes up. She looks across the street, and she sees that the neighbors suddenly have a new mansion. She goes and asks, how did this come to be? Poor man tells her the tale about the stranger and the wishes. She gets super jealous. She runs back home. She tells her husband, who then hops on his horse, rides out trying to find the stranger, eventually catches up to him, and he's all super apologetic about the last night. By the way, can I also have 3 wishes? We'll put you up for the night. Lord says, well, I mean, I can give you 3 wishes, but it's not going to go well for you. And the rich guy says, I'll be fine.
I'll be the judge of that.
I'll be the judge of that. And off he trots. On his way home, the horse starts acting up. The guy says, I wish this horse was dead. On account of all the acting up, and boom, dead horse. So now he's got to walk home carrying his saddle, plus he's down a wish. Can't figure out what he wants. There's a line about where maybe he wants all the riches in the world, or maybe he wants unlimited beer, like the Bavarian peasant who also got 3 wishes one time and wished for a whole barrel of beer, and also to have beer in the barrel.
and then third, it was more beer.
And then it was just more beer.
He seems to have done well.
He did fine. Yeah, he didn't. No way that wish is going to backfire on me. But he doesn't know what he wants to wish for, and decides not to do the beer. But so he's walking home. He's starting to get hot. He's got the saddle on his back, and he starts thinking about how his wife vexes him because she's got it easy. So he wishes that she was sitting on the saddle and couldn't get off. Poof, saddle vanishes from his hands, and he runs home double time to find that his wife is permanently stuck to the saddle. And then he has to use his 3rd wish to reverse the 2nd wish. He was gonna say, he's like, well, what if we just wish for a bunch of money anyway? And the wife's like, the fuck we are. You wished me onto this stupid saddle. I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to wish me off. So he does, and then that's all of his 3 wishes. And then he realized that his wishes didn't work out great, but the poor people lived happily and piously until they died. The end. Do you have a moral?
I went with the cheeky, you never know who's at your door.
Kind of a Beauty and the Beast situation.
We can certainly get deeper on this one. I'm curious what your moral is.
That being rich doesn't make you necessarily well equipped to do anything else. You can't, just because you were born rich, especially if you're born rich, but it doesn't mean you can run a company. Doesn't mean you can survive on a desert island. In fact, there's no real difference between a rich man and a poor man physically. I think it might have been Sam, quote, I only need a few more $1 trillion to get this AI shit working, Altman, who said how a billionaire on a desert island would have a better chance of survival than a poor man because they're just built differently. But without really looking at history, because the richest guy to ever get shipwrecked was Michael Rockefeller, who was promptly eaten by cannibals. As soon as he said, hello, I say. And of course, the French proved without a shadow of a doubt that you really don't need rich people. And they're remarkably easy to round up and remarkably easy to shuffle off the mortal coil. So fair warning to the rich people out there right now, because things might come to a head soon. But rich people bad, poor people and pious people are good is also, I guess, what they're going for.
Yeah.
The story, too, kind of very similar to Gamble and Hansel, which was another of our God walks around a bit and finds a guy and sort of screws with him. Although Gamble and Hansel's wishes, they didn't go bad.
Right.
Gamble and Hansel wished for magic cards and loaded dice that he would never lose with. And they got them.
Right. He won in the end.
Sort of. Until he finally just pissed God off enough that he killed him. But
this one drove me crazy in that same way, where it's just like, again, it's God just like testing people.
Yeah.
And if they're good, then they get rewarded materially, which isn't the pretense of Christianity as far as last time I checked. But as we've talked about, the Grimms seem to have an interesting concept of Christianity and what God does and what heaven is like. So
one thing I thought was weird, at the end of the rich man's adventure, he's still very rich.
Yeah. He's basically just down a horse.
Yeah, it's like if my car was totaled or whatever, I'd be fine. I could buy a new car.
But he perceives himself worse off because he missed out on the opportunity that the poor people across the street got.
Right.
Who didn't deserve it.
And he was, and he also, when the horse died, he's like, well, I can't bear to lose a saddle. That's in addition to losing a horse, that the saddle's also expensive.
Yeah. I think he's referred to as very frugal in that regard.
$20 I would have to spend on a new saddle. But
but if you don't need this, if you don't have a horse, do you really need the saddle?
Well, he's still rich though, right?
Yeah,
he
clearly
can just buy a new horse.
Yeah, clearly he's taking the saddle so that because he's going to buy a new horse anyway.
We talked earlier about the monkey paw stuff, but this is kind of why I liked the story, why I gave it like a B. But the first wish wasn't, again, really monkey paw type of wish. It wasn't the bad genie type of wish.
Yeah, it wasn't twisting something. It was just, oh shit, I accidentally made a wish when I should have been careful about the things I'm wishing for.
This horse is cantering, lollygagging around. I wish
Lisa.
the stupid
Lisa the
horse's neck
horse.
was broken. Yeah.
I went so far as to pull up the original German, and the
Okay.
horse's name was Lisa.
Yeah.
But yeah, all I can think of is that episode of Simpsons where Homer gets Lisa a pony.
Oh,
Horse named Lisa. Just I couldn't get over that.
do you know what the horse's name was in Beauty and the Beast?
No,
It was Philippe.
no way.
It was because
Son of
Philippe
a
means
bitch.
lover of horses.
Huh. I did
Um,
not know that.
Phila for love, and then Epa for something. I had some Latin root.
Huh.
Hmm.
I wonder if my dad's name was Phil. I wonder if he knew that.
Your
Yeah, it
dad's
was
name was.
Philip.
Did I know I had to have known that at some point. Like technically, I know Linda Carpata's name is Linda. I'm never gonna call her that. Never gonna be like, "Hello, Linda." That's too weird.
I don't know.
But
I think I just call her Linda, I think.
I think a lot of other people do too. But I just, and
Yeah.
with your parents were the same way. I would, in a million years, we're never going to call them by their first names.
Yeah. You know what's weird is I call my kids' teachers Mr. So and so or Mrs. So and so.
Do you do Mister in their first name, or is it?
No, it's whatever my kids say, like Mrs. Duback or, Mr. Wood.
We've talked about this before. I think I want to be Mister to my kids' friends.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm-
I'm fine. I'd be fine with a hey, so and so's dad. But
Yeah.
other than that, I would like to just be Mister.
What I like, it always tickles me is Mr. Mel's dad, which I get.
That's
a fair
fine.
amount.
Yeah, I'd be perfectly happy with that.
But we have the Destination Imagination kids here constantly, and they're very familiar with us. So we became Mo and Mike a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't want the familiarity with these kids.
That's fine.
I think I don't know that they necessarily want it either. Maybe they do at a certain point, but
Yeah, it might change too as the wee one gets older.
that's true. And actually has friends over. Right now he has other toddlers over every once in a while,
Right.
but it's kind of a bit.
Yeah.
I'm less of a entity than anything possible. I think that's just
Yeah.
someone that's around for an occasional hug.
in-
Anyways, yeah, go
In
on.
D&D, there's
Okay.
a concept of like the DM. Are you sure? Like wink, wink. Like if you ask for something and the DM's like, "Are you sure?" You should probably say, "You know what? Never mind."
Yeah.
And God absolutely does this when the rich man's like, "Can I get those? Can I get 3 wishes too?" And he's like, "I don't think it's gonna go too well for you."
Yeah, just
The guy's like, "Well, that's okay. I'll figure
I'm not
it
even
out."
talking about that I'm going to curse the wishes. I'm talking about I know you, dude. I can see the future because I am God.
You're just gonna fuck this up.
You're just going to have one dead horse. You're going to have 3 wishes to get a dead horse.
And the guy's like, no way.
No, I'm smarter than that. I'm very rich. My dad bought a bunch of property in the 70s, and then I inherited all of his businesses. So that proves that I'm very smart. My back's not going to be against the wall when the revolution comes. They're definitely not going to do one of those French style terrors to the rich people in this country. That I can
No.
assure you. It's weird that this story doesn't even have a Wikipedia entry, by the way.
Yeah. In fact, there's a site that I routinely, it's like a University of Pittsburgh that I routinely go to if I don't
Yeah.
have my book on me and I'm doing research, and they didn't even have an English copy of it, which is just
Wow.
weird.
It is weird. And it's strange for a long story too. I was not surprised. Last week's story we talked about the fox and the geese, the vigorous young women who were who wanted to be gobbled up by
Gobble me
fox.
up, Mr. Fox.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Fox, but I'm taking my vows, so I can't be et up by you. But it's not a short story, and there's a lot going on in it for there
Yeah.
to be just absolutely no Wikipedia entry. I think it might
Yeah.
deserve one.
It's not one of those where it's just like one thing happens and it's like, or it's just like it's just weird and boring. Like there's hooks here. There's a number of different tropes.
I don't know how to make a Wikipedia page. Do we? You just make it?
I've always assumed that if I were to make one, somebody else would delete it almost immediately because I did it wrong.
I'm sure that that's the case.
But
It's like
maybe this-
anytime I've ever done anything on Reddit, I'm told that I posted wrong.
Well, and that's what most people are on Reddit for, is to tell you that you did it wrong. There's an engineering thing called Stack Overflow. It's like Google for software issues.
Okay.
and it's a common trope to be like a Stack Overflow developer where you write your code just by like copying and pasting answers from Stack Overflow.
Okay.
But as many answers to questions there's just as many, you didn't ask this the right way, so I'm closing this.
Yeah. Yahoo Answers and Quora were both like that for a little while. You know, they'd be like, try Googling it, asshole. And ask a question and be like, I did. They brought up this page.
How is Babby form?
Yeah.
Oh God, I miss Yahoo Answers.
It was good stuff. But
really nice.
I had to kind of just pick and choose sort of what the ATU types were. Because normally we're at least pointed to that, but I thought maybe ATU 735, which is the rich man's and the poor man's fortune. There's also ATU type 750, which is the three wishes. And then
About
that gets broken down further to 750 A, B, C, or whatever it is, like of good wishes versus foolish wishes. There's a subtype, which seems like this is gods and saints in disguise, reward hospitality and punish inhospitality.
Last week with the Fox and the Geese, the ATU type was like fox eats geese, but they get out of it by praying.
Yeah.
And it seems like this is like that ATU where it's just, here's the story.
Yeah. One thing I did find out, one of the resources that I use every once in a while is the very excellent, it's called Sur la Lune fairytales.com. Sur la Lune.
Sur la Lune.
Sur la Lune fairytales.com. There's a connection, there's a German epic poem called Hebel's Schatzkostlein, an epic poem which unfortunately is mostly lost to history, and the one copy that they did find kind of it was pretty well falling apart and degraded. But in it, there is a woman sitting by a fire with her husband, and then without thinking of it, she they get three wishes. She wishes she had a fried sausage. And then it appears, and then angrily, the man wishes, he's like, I wish that sausage was growing on the end of your nose. And then for the third wish, she has to wish that it wasn't on her nose anymore.
I don't know. If I had three wishes, I'd have a hard time not wishing for a sausage for the first one.
I mean, yeah, three.
I take a sausage anytime.
But you could wish for like unlimited sausage. Well, it's a little bit what they do here. I guess they just they say we wish the good people wish just for they always had enough food.
Yeah, I think they literally said like our daily bread.
Our daily bread. Yeah. Maybe they just want the bread. And but if they're getting all this free bread, they can buy sausages. Another German poem. I just like trying to say the names of these things, but Gesamtbenentor. I apologize to my German friends for butchering all of this, but kind of a Germanic version of the story of Job, but running Job through a Nordic lens. And then, yeah, God asks a rich guy and a poor guy for help. Only the poor people help. Each couple gets three wishes, but only nice people's wishes work. So it's kind of the same stuff over and over again that we keep seeing, and this is kind of the Grimm version of it. But I digress. Do you have any other notes, or barring that, do you have a pitch?
One other note that I had was I was thinking of this while you were doing the recap.
Okay.
So at one point when he's walking through the desert, about to blow his second wish, he's thinking about the Bavarian peasant who wished for beer and then wished for more beer and then on top of that wished for all the beer.
Yeah.
And he was thinking like, that guy really had the right of it.
Yeah.
Is that our first meta fairy tale?
The mentioning a different
it's a fairy
tale
tale character thinking about or talking about a fairy tale that character knew.
I don't even know what tale that was. Did you look up what that might have even been?
I googled Bavarian peasant wishes for beer and I got 11 German phrases for Oktoberfest.
Yeah. Okay. 16 German phrases worth learning for October. Yeah. All right. So the Bavarians like beer. That's about all we can say about that at the moment.
I got an Amazon result for a fake beer wench Oktoberfest costume, and it's called Music Legs Women's Loving Beer Sweetie. Oh, China.
The only thing I have is it's just an anecdote within Poor Man and the Rich Man. So it's just he references this random thing that's not even in Grimm, which was too bad because like that would be a very funny little short story.
Yeah.
Just like this one guy could have wished for all the wishes in the world, but just wishes for a great deal of beer and then as much beer as he was able to drink and then a barrel of beer.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a story reference another story, right?
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah.
Not in this way. Not specifically in the like 1001 Arabian Nights sort of style of just like, well, that's not what that's happening here exactly, but like specifically like maybe I can do what that, like that the other story that everyone should know.
Yeah, it's kind of clever that they slid that in there, though.
I'm all for it. And I remember, trying to look up what was this story, because that's the one I wanted to read. Could not find it.
S tier, my kind of guy.
Oh, that would have been the S tier tale. Write that one out too. But speaking of things we could write out, Michael, do you have a big pitch?
I do. Well, it's not a big pitch.
Okay.
It's a big pitch, but it's a short pitch.
Okay.
We can workshop it a little.
Yeah.
I was going on this is one of a number of stories we've had where God or St. Peter or somebody else goes down and disguises themselves and tests people to see if they're good or bad.
Yep.
And if they're good, they're often rewarded materially, which kind of goes against the concept of Christianity, at least as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
And so I was trying to figure out what to do with this. And I settled on this concept of Jesus one day discovers that God's been out doing this. He's been going down, he's been testing people and giving them weird wishes or just giving them a bunch of money if they prove to be good.
Okay.
And so he gets pissed off. This isn't what I was all about at all. And so he leads a revolt against God for control of heaven, kind of like Lucifer many millennia before.
Okay.
Jesus wins, casts God out. This is when I started workshopping this with the kids a bit.
Yeah.
I was on the treadmill and Elliot came in and I was like, all right, let me pitch this to you and see where we go. So I was like, cast God out to hell or purgatory. And Elliot said, what about Chicago? And I was like, why Chicago? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, were you trying to think of a downtrodden city? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, how about Detroit? So cast God out to Detroit, where God now has to live the life of Jesus in modern day Detroit, including like getting arrested and crucified.
The end?
Sort of. I don't know.
Okay.
We could go more. I ended up doing a lot more thinking about casting.
Okay.
But this is definitely like a Jerry Bruckheimer action kind of movie.
Okay, you want to go Jerry Bruckheimer and not like Dogma 2?
Maybe. So I was talking about casting and I was like, who plays Jesus? And I was like, Jason Momoa.
Okay. Jason Momoa, I could see that. What age were we looking for Jesus? Because he died, but I don't know if he ages in heaven.
Yeah, and I always assumed
he
was
died
still
at like age 30, right?
Yeah. And then Elliot was thinking Jack Black as God, and I was like, I don't love that. And also, we're basically at the Minecraft movie now.
Yeah, well, let's.
And so then Elliot then suggested Jenna Ortega as Jesus to make this more blasphemous, and also because Jenna Ortega is quote unquote hot. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that Jenna Ortega is hot.
You're allowed to say your son said that Jenna Ortega is hot.
Yeah, my kid said that Jenna Ortega is hot.
We can soften it if you want. Your kid thinks that
my
Jenna
kid thinks that Jenna
Ortega
Ortega is pretty cute.
Is very cute. Okay.
So then I was talking to Mo about it, and I was like, you know what? Jesus should be played by The Rock. I think that works out well.
Okay.
And then Mo was like, well, so like Jesus is like the loving part of the whole God Trinity part, and God's sort of like the Old Testament fire and brimstone. And I was like, okay. Samuel L. Jackson for God.
If we're splitting things though, then it's okay. So Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Are we doing Trinity or?
I don't know. I said Trinity, but I don't have. It was never fully clear on what the Holy Spirit is anyway.
I don't know. I'm not. It was never.
Now I've got sort of a Samuel, mostly because we recently rewatched Pulp Fiction and introduced the youngest to it. But now I've got sort of a Samuel L. Jackson Old Testament. I'm a brimstone laying motherfucker.
Yeah. I saw that not that long ago too. That movie holds the hell up. I think that you got something to work with. Yeah, go workshop it. And maybe we can have a visit from the beer guy.
And yeah. Oh, that's Jack Black.
There you go. Yeah.
There's your Jack Black.
Anyways, okay. Well, if you don't have anything else, and I don't have anything else, I think we can probably call it on Grimm Story 87, The Poor Man and the Rich Man.
Mm-hmm.
Until the next time, the next tale, may you dream sweet dreams of today's sponsor, lying to God. Yes, lying's great, as we all know, but have you ever tried to lie to the almighty God who knows when you're lying anyways, but doesn't seem to care? In one way, it's just a reminder that really, the only one you're lying to is yourself, but also a grim reminder that if God exists, he may just hate you. And for the rest of you, sleep tight. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
The Brothers Dim podcast is written by the Brothers Dim. Recording engineering is done by Mike and sound editing and mastering by Phil. Brothers Dim podcasts are copyrighted by the Brothers Dim and available at brothersdim.com, on Blue Sky at Brothers Dim, and wherever you get your podcasts.